Hello everyone, welcome back. Hello, hello. How have you guys been? It's been so long. Rest assured, I'm still sick. This is not gonna be a perfect stream. You're gonna hear me coughing quite loudly. Just like one of those like kid who can't fucking, what did we get? What is this, a treasure train? Participants save 35% on 5 more gifts and stuff. Holy shit, I was gonna enable that anyway, but that works great. Cool, all right, I guess we've got a treasure train going. Holy hell, hi everyone, hello. Holy shit, thank you so much. Wait, hold on, I have things to do before I go on, well, hold on, let me see, live on. I'm gonna try something new today. Where I'm gonna try and go live on Instagram at the same time as TikTok, at the same time as Twitch, at the same time as YouTube. It's gonna be a lot. I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna be, it's gonna be a quadruple live because, is it quadruple? Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. But then YouTube counts as 2 because it's the mobile and the other one. The mobile and the desktop. So it's gonna be a lot, but we're gonna try our best. Hello, everyone. Good to see you. Big Dove says good evening. Hi! And then Notster says, wow, the meta universe. I'm not a huge fan of the concept of the meta universe, primarily because it's, who would be, you know? But it's, it's like the same thing where I post on Facebook, but I just don't care about it. It's just there for the sake of existing. Also, I did my nails today. Check it out. Can we get some commotion for the nails? Here you go, Instagram, for those who are watching. If you're new on Instagram, hello. Hi. Also, hi to everyone who subscribed. Holy shit, we had House Duggan who resubbed for 5 months at tier 3. Dude, one of our only tier 3 subs. That's crazy. Holy shit. Hello. Hi. Oh, man. So I desperately need to get back on the streaming horse. It's been so long because of PAX Pox. Let me tell you, this is the worst illness I've had in so fucking long. It was, hey, Duran, thank you so much for the sub with Prime as well, pushing us to level 4. Oh my god. Duran64, hello, welcome in. Hello, Instagram. Hi, Cart, hello, Charming, hello, hello. So yeah, this PAX Pox, and I'm gonna call it PAX Pox briefly because I am friends with the PAX people and hopefully they won't kill me for it. It was so fucking bad. It was like the gross, like the bad coughing for like a week straight. Hello, and then, oh, Vito says, I'm glad you're feeling better, it's good to be hanging out again. Thank you, oh my gosh. And then Bello subscribed, hi. Let's see, DBCU said LobbyCon was worth it, but it came with a cost. DBCU was a fucking menace, by the way. I played against them for Magic the Gathering once, got my ass kicked. I don't know what the hell is in that deck. I'm reporting you to the cops is what's gonna happen. Hello, hi. Let's see, Nubeck says, oh snap, you're back. Yeah, I am back. I'm surviving. So I'm still not 100% over the sickness, and there's no physical way for me to mute in like 4 places at once, so you're just gonna hear me coughing. I'm so sorry in advance, but I'm not sorry because, let's see, Jayhawk has also subbed, as has Taylor. Hi! Okay, so Jayhawk, and I'm gonna work my way down the list. I know I'm forgetting people, I'm so sorry. Holy shit, and Muriak just gifted 5 subs. Hi! Oh my god, it's been so long, you guys. Muriak, I'll put your name on there with a little ×5. Darth says down with the sickness. I'm not down with this sickness. I'm so against this sickness. Holy shit. I'm sick and tired of this sickness is what's happening. Dice, hi! DVC said you can get in line behind Kiki to kick my ass with that deck. Yeah, DVC played against me and then wandered over to Kiki's fucking hotel room and then kicked Kiki's ass at Magic. It was, I saw the stories of it. You were on Kiki's story for a hot sec, just like looking all smug, essentially. Noob says, I had something to mention the next time you streamed and now I've forgotten. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh man. And then BB Firefly, Gunbreaker, welcome in. Same with Just Ice and Ren. And then also Debauchery Tea Party. Hi, welcome in. Thank you so much for the sub. Debauchery Tea Party. There we go. XX. And I think I'm getting everyone. I'm moving my way down the list. Cheese Prof is on a stream streak. HC's also on 35 fucking streams in a row. Jesus fuck. Taylor. T-E-H. And then it's M. Yeah, first. Here we are. Has also subbed. Welcome back. We had Jayhawk on here. The Aladial. Hi, Allie. Salad Dial is on here as well. Thank you so much. And then, oh my gosh, Alex says, did you go to PAX Unplugged? I think you saw, I saw you outside Reading Terminal. Yes, I was there. That was me. I loved Reading Terminal so much. I was so obsessed. So I'm not a breakfast person, and the only things that were open, I can't really get lunch during cons. I just exist. I wander in circles, and then I forget to eat is what happens. And it closes at 6, so it's also not an option to go out to dinner. So the only time I could go to Reading Terminal was in the morning for breakfast, and I hate breakfast food. That's just the thing. I can't be fixed. I'm sorry. If you're a breakfast lover, my bad. And so I hated walking around and seeing all this delicious food that wasn't open. And for the other like 3 hours, it was a tease, especially like the good Chinese food and stuff like that. We don't have that in Bend, where I'm from. Okay, I am missing out on so many. Nodster is also here. Here we go. Nodster, and then Drodane is on here. Thank you so much for the subscriptions, you guys. They are apparently 35% off. I didn't know that. I'm just the streamer. I just work here. HT also subscribed. Thank you so much, HT. And then Deethan is... Oh my god, Deethan's not on here. Holy shit. TW, here we are. Ippy21 has subbed for 19 months. Oh my god, thank you so much, Ippy. And then Cash Cal resub for 3 months, for 27 months total though, saying, where's the time gone? Diana, we've known each other for over 2 years. Yeah, holy shit. I remember when you went to Ben Brainerd's like comedy show and went up and said hi during the meet and greet. And then I couldn't even go to that show. But yeah, man, it's been ages. We also had Nodster wants me to roll a giant D20, which I can absolutely do real fast. And tell you what, if you're watching on Instagram, since this is my first Instagram live, do you guys want to say hi? Hold on, Instagram people, do you want to say hi to the Twitch people? And then Twitch people and YouTube people, do you want to say hi to Instagram? Yay. Also, Dice says, oh wait, hold on. I know you liked the first rendition of the dice I made you, but I want to remake them with more green. Oh, but I loved the green and gold. Also, everyone's saying hi. Hold on. Nodster also says the meta lag is strong. Can I show? Hold on. Can you guys see everyone? Or is it like backwards? Cordero over on, oh, everyone's saying hi. Michello, Cordero, they're all saying hello. Cashcal said Instagram, you'd be cooler on Twitch. That's true. So I guess to just go live everywhere and show people that I am live elsewhere. But you get to see the closet, at least. This is where I keep my giant D20, and someone over on the Twitch stream recommended, oh my god. There we go. Someone on the Twitch stream told me to roll a giant D20, which is a redeem that I have, if you're new here. Also, Danny says hello. B says, I saw this on Instagram, it's completely in reverse. Ah, shit. Okay, well, whoops. And let's see. So, I don't know what this D20 is for. Nodster says, will I die shifting 800 kilograms of gravel this week? Oh, yes. Oh, wait, is it like gravel? Is it like road gravel? Is it like the stuff that you throw down on roads to make sure that people won't die because they don't know how to drive in snow? Because if so, I can kind of get behind that. Let's see. Half says I'm cooler being on both. Oh man. And then Drodane has bestowed advantage, saying hopefully not. I'm assuming that a low roll won't die. If we're considering it like death save, we're gonna do death saves. Average Chef said I had to run over so I could see the closet. You'll see it again in a sec when I put this back. Also, Danny says we're starting a new campaign in my group and I'm getting to play a Warforged for the first time. Oh god, I love Warforged. I also love when people get like really creative with the way that they do the materials for Warforged. That's my favorite thing ever. Like having a Warforged made of wood and things like that. Nodster says I have to bucket the gravel throughout the house. Oh god, okay. Well, Drodane had us bestow advantage. So we can roll this twice. We're gonna take the higher number and we're gonna see if you're gonna die hauling whatever 800 kilograms worth of gravel is. Cosmic, hi, welcome in. Just in time. I don't have a good place to roll this, by the way, so I'm just gonna... Oh no, hold on. 1 sec. Nat 1. Not good. But we have advantage. We have advantage. So, hold on. We'll give it one last roll. We'll toss it in the air a couple times for luck. And then we're gonna try not to destroy my studio setup here. Second roll. My door is a 6. So maybe don't lift with your back. Eric says, I know somebody who had a Warforged with the armor being porcelain. It was an assassin cosplaying as a statue. Oh, that's cool. Man, yeah, Kiki did the same thing where she had a porcelain warforged, and it was the coolest thing ever. It's a marathon, saying 26 months of Diana goodness, pretty sure she stole my soul like most Fae, has also subscribed. Oh my gosh, thank you so much to Marathon. And then Latana Del D20, welcome in, same with Morning Wood, great name. And B Shore says, I went to Ikea this weekend and carried 600 pounds of furniture. Oh, can you imagine? What a wild workout. Let's see. Omega Mike says, hello, I can never seem to catch you on. I'm here. Hello, hello. And Morningwood says, I just got home from work and I get to stop in and see this wonderful person. I don't know about wonderful, but I'm here. I also got my camera to stop fucking like auto white balancing. So now my forehead's just gonna stay shiny. And it's not gonna be shiny and then dull and then shiny again. So progress, I guess. Let's see. We had the minds behind Dr. Cosmic Hobo who have followed over on Twitch. Lukich wants me to do a hydrate, which I can do real fast. And then let's see. Danny Gibbs says the material isn't special or anything. We're flavoring it as it looks like Alphonse Elric from FMAB. I have no idea what FMAB is. That's a new acronym for me. I'm also categorically just not someone who knows anything about any level of, well, material science, first of all. Dude, did I tell you guys? So once when I was a kid, I was in college. Once when I was in college, one of the classes I took was an honors class on plastics. And it sounds exciting, except it's not really, but the most interesting part about it was the fact that my professor was so adamant about the fact that, it's like, God, what was it? It was that recycling just didn't work or something like that. Like he was talking about the fact that if you recycle, it just goes in the trash anyway, and it's more useful to just throw it straight in the trash than to waste the recycling people's resources or something. And he showed us a documentary or something like that. It kind of gives the same vibe as like when you take a nutrition class as a kid, and then hi Turfinator, when you take a nutrition class and then your teacher tries to like shove all these basically aggressively vegetarian or vegan policies at you, and you're like, hey, this is wild, or I feel like this is a little biased, and then I don't know. Clay Tony says it's someone who works in recycling. It doesn't. That tracks. I don't know. It still feels weird. Like I was in Philadelphia and they just don't have recycling. Really? Oh, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, says Alex B. Case. Got it. That makes more sense. Okay, also, I'm very nervous because my nose has been bleeding on and off all day today, so if you see me touch my nose, it's partially the sickness, it's also partially just like, I don't want to bleed all over my nice white shirt. I already did it once today at the UPS, so. Crayox says we do have recycling in Philadelphia. What? I didn't see any. Like, at the convention center and things like that, there was just trash. It hurt my soul. And I know it's objectively probably better, but I don't know. Anyway, Lopen. Welcome to the board of subscribers. Welcome back. Saying, Turfinator here, my latest Warforged is a reskin. It's a set of fully enclosed plate enchanted with the soul of a wronged knight. Shit, that's cool. Nobody has suspected I'm not a human so far. Also, it's a berserker barbarian. Oh, I kind of love that. I love the concept that you would be almost like a reflavored Reforged, you know? Webhead over on Instagram says, your overalls are cute, where'd you get them? I have no idea. I don't know where I get anything, actually. I'm really bad at keeping track of, I swear to God, I'm a girl's girl. I'm not when it comes to when people are like, hey, where did you get this piece of clothing? Fuck if I know. I didn't even know I owned it. I just found it. But let's see. Cam says, first timer, fellow D&D nerd, love your content, friend. Oh my gosh, thank you. Hello. And Jiro Saxton has subscribed. Oh wait, there's a bunch of people who subscribed. Oh man. Oh God, Marathon gifted 5 subs. Holy shit, thank you so much. That brings me up to 6 total. It's a little circle. I'm so sorry, Dethan. I just crossed through your name. That was not intentional. And Jiro, thank you so much for the sub as well. Oh my gosh. Jiro, Sexton. I know I'm missing people. I might have to go through. Dethan says, wow, I'm sorry. And Morningwood says, also thanks for liking the name. I had it for a long time in a bunch of games that I played, but it keeps getting reported. I don't know why. And then Average Jeff says, it's so weird seeing stream from this view. I know. And then Valen says, from the Feywild, I bet. I get a lot of comments about why I chose like Faye as my stage name, my show name. It actually is unrelated to the Feywild stuff. I just thought it was cool. Drodane also gifted 5 gifts. Oh man. Oh gosh, oh man. Okay, so you're at 6 total. I'm gonna try not to cross out anyone's name this time. I'm just gonna make this 6 extra thick. A thick 6. Burstine says, I don't know what happened, but ripped Ethan. Gucci, hi, welcome in. And same with Todd, good to see you. Welcome into the stream. Same with Slightly Unstable Wi-Fi. Fantastic name. Let's see. I think, did I get Pennymon? I didn't. Okay. Hello, welcome in. And thank you so much for the resub this Prime. M-O-N. That makes me want to play. Dude, I was looking at, what was it? I was looking at someone's amazingly excited. Oh wait, also, Kev says, do you prefer F-A-E or F-E-Y? I do F-A-Y actually. I don't know why. It's maybe just slightly distinguish it. I chose this surname forever ago. No rhyme or reason to it. Kamashita says thanks for the sub. And Serini, hi, saying, is that a Rose of the Diana? It is. And Thick, hello. Amazing. First timer says, first time to the stream, loving it already. Yeah, I mean, this is all we do. We chat. I answer your guys' questions about TTRPGs because that comes up quite often. I'm actually actively editing, and I can show Instagram this. I really can't show the normal stream this. I swear to God, Instagram, I'm not trying to teach you special, but this is the video that I'm currently working on to get the long form video out talking about essentially all the 5e supplements that I own and trying to talk to people about different things, everything from anthropomorphized animals to Pokemon style 5e supplements to absolutely horrifying, like more adultish supplements, things like that, all for D&D 5e. So I'm doing a little bit of a showcase of those, and that's gonna be out hopefully tonight, probably tomorrow for members, and then everyone else is gonna see it later this week. Wait, hold on. Nimbus says for some reason my email is associated with my account anymore. Twitch isn't letting me input it. It's not letting me purchase new subs without it. Gonna get this figured out. Hope you enjoyed the turkey spider art from the Discord though. That was great. Oh my God. So for those, oh my God. Also Kane says, how would you make an artificer blacksmith? Ooh, I don't know if I would go artificer. I would go circle the forge cleric. Honestly, the forge cleric tends to be a bit of a better option for that. But what you can do is you can just reflavor shit. I saw someone talking today about, I'm sorry, I went on like 3 different tangents. I promise I'll circle back to the spider thing because there was something I wanted to talk to you guys about. I saw someone on TikTok earlier today talking about the fact that they love the concept of a Ripper Doc artificer, where you can infuse someone's bones with runes and things like that. Deethan says we can skip the spiders. Oh man, okay, well if you like spiders, go to the Discord. People have put some really cool art in there. Actually, I gotta find, hold on. I need to find that one that someone sent that looks like an old lady begging on the ground, but it turns into a spider. I'm stealing that. It's in the Discord if you haven't joined the Discord. Someone please remind me where it is or tag me or something in it so I can go back and find it and put it on screen. Deethan says there's been so many hydrates. I know, I'm so sorry. I'll just chug water for like, here, entertain yourselves for like 3 seconds, and I'm not gonna breathe and just chug water if that works. Great. There's that cough. Gamer says, I'm entertained. And Lucas says, are we sure? There were like 2 hydrates. Mountain Duke is also here saying, do you use any program or anything alike to do a world map or a continent? Yes. So I personally use Incarnate. And I use different basically like software for different scales of maps. So Incarnate, INK, I haven't used it in a very long time. I'm gonna warn you now, if they put a bunch of shit behind a paywall, that's not on me. If they started using like AI and shit, don't use them. But last time I checked, they hadn't done that. So let me check again, just to make extra sure. But this is Incarnate. It is free. I'm not gonna log in right now, but it's really good at doing world maps specifically. Localized maps you can also do, but I prefer to just find other people's finished products when it comes to that sort of stuff. And the free version is still really good when it comes to the, like being able to create continent level stuff. And that's what I did. And then I would find existing maps for, you know, actual zoomed in locations with a grid over them and everything. And then that's what I would use. Maddie, hi! Guys, I want to say hi to Madaloon, our lovely mod, and my amazing GM for Curse of Strahd, not Curse of Strahd, the other game, Chains of Asmodeus. Curse of Strahd is someone else. Chains of Asmodeus on Sundays. Cheese Prof says, would you prefer an IRL sculpture of a beggar spider or a duck spider? Ooh. Probably the beggar spider. Only because the duck spider I might actually make into a mini at some point. Gamer Pickle says Incarnate is the GOAT. I built my first world map on there before dropping the campaign for my brand new homebrew one I'm just starting on. Yeah, it's really good. So I used to make so I don't know if can I show this? I think I can. Let me see and I'm only saying this because I don't know if my players are in here right now. I know they're not. I'm not running any active games. But I have a whole world that I built originally from Incarnate. Again, this free version is really good. You really don't have to do the paid version. But let me see if I can find my world maps. Oh my god, you know what I actually did for my original world map? Hold on, let me show you this. Fantasy name generator. This is the ultimate website. Highly recommend this website. If you've never heard of it, I don't know where the hell you've been, but it's been around for forever. It's one of my favorite things on the planet, and it's so great at finding just names that actually follow the naming lore and conventions of a TTRPG world, a game world, anything you need. And so I used, what most people don't know is that it has a bunch of generators that aren't related to names. And so if you scroll up to the top, there's other generators, and I believe there's not landmarks, army formation, armor creator. It's in here, so yeah, map creator, I want to say. Yes, so this is what I used. The instructions are kind of a pain, and I believe I just did random maps, and this is what I ended up using for my world map. Instagram, I'll show you as well. So this is roleforfantasy.com, also known as fantasy name generator. I used this to generate hold on, there we go. To generate, using this random map button, the major land masses of my continents. It does a really good job at creating these inlets, these islands, and then what I did, and this was dumb, don't do this, is I then took a white piece of paper, placed it over my monitor, and then traced around it, and then somehow put that over my monitor again when I had Incarnate open. And then I used it to make the land masses in Incarnate, so then I could add rivers and things like that over it. It's a long fucking process, and I don't recommend it. Yeah, Nathan, Tringden, hello, Deedon, says she's talking about fantasy name generator. I am, sorry, it's very hard. I've got 5 active chats going. Danny says, we're reflavoring Sacred Flame as a spectral raven in my game that launched out of my hand like Megamaru's hand blast from Jujutsu Kaisen. And that's how we're gonna flavor my fire and non-physical-ish spells. I love flavor like that. It's so good. Also, Gamer says, oh, thanks for telling me about this because I totally want to have a world map for my homebrew. Yeah, I really recommend it. Where's my TTRPG files? Okay, I'm gonna show you guys what I ended up doing. D&D, Dungeon Master, Celestion. My world is called Celestion. I believe the actual, where are maps? Maps, here we go. So for example, the major world map, or the major continent that I tend to work in, is called Arcaravar. And that's just, let's see, let me do this. Because I should be able to bring it up on screen for those who are, yeah, perfect. Okay, so this is what I ended up doing. This is Arcaravar. For those who are watching on desktop platforms right now, you should be able to see it. That is fully made from me taking fantasy name generators, like landmass generator, tracing around it in Incarnate, and then adding details. I haven't fleshed out a single one of these locations, by the way. These are locations that I have had around for forever, and I just went to random name generator and created names and then slapped them on there. But they don't have anything there yet because I figured I'd go in with one-shot wonders and things like that, and then properly go in and add all the details as people come across them. But this is Arcaravar. Arcaravar is the main continent. I call it the main continent because it's the most basic bitch continent. It's full of humans and people rolling fields of wheat and all that. So yeah, that's Arcaravar. But that's kind of how you can even see actually how the different land masses came from what I did in Fantasy Name Generator. The specific ways that the islands go in and out again and then all connect with each other. That's all sourced from here. So if you're looking at free resources, that in combination with Incarnate is really solid. So yeah. Vito says that's some dedication. That's impressive. And Darkside, hi, welcome in. Let's see. SOG White Wolf says first time Twitch viewer saying thanks for the TTRPG content that's got actual thought and care put into it. Thank you. I try. Oh my gosh. Oh, so Cash Cow said, there you go. I no longer ever trip. Hi, Cash Cow. Hello. But White Wolf says, thanks for the TTRPG content that's got actual thought and care put into it. This is, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I do my best. A lot of people ask how I got started with TTRPG content, and it's just because no one else was doing it in like a helpful format that was less than a minute long. And now I'm here. So, yeah. Let's see. 2 p.m. breakfast says I haven't had the time to make a map, but I want to. You really should. It's not as useful as you think. I feel like the time that I spend making a map is wildly disproportionate to how much time people actually spend looking at it in game. It's mostly for my reference. I'll share it with the party if they want to see though. Eric 5, thank you so much for the sub. Oh my gosh, here we go. Eric 5, thank you so much for the gifted sub to the community. SSA Vale is also back, having sub for 18 months. Hi. Oh my gosh. Vale, welcome in, welcome back. Drakvis, hello, hello. Yes. And then Lupin says, I need to button up my notes and release them to CC. I'm unfamiliar with CC. I do not have the time to attempt to monetize any of my TTRPG-ness. I want to help people make stuff. Yeah, I've never thought to sell any of Celestion stuff, to be honest, because I'm not a huge fan of... It's also incredibly basic. Like, all of my fantasy shit is mostly derived from other sources. So, Aura, hi! And Nat Martinez says, how's your evening? Doing good! Hello, hello. My voice is holding up. So, not bad. Jody from M, hello, hello, saying on YouTube, Jeepers, haven't heard that in forever. You do live? I've only ever seen your shorts. Yeah, so I'm live, mostly on TikTok right now. Or not TikTok, mostly on Twitch. Dual casting to TikTok, using my phone for Instagram, and then I've got Stream Ellen's multi-stream going on YouTube for mobile and desktop as well. It's been crazy. But White Wolf, Morgana Lee Faye, thank you so much for the subs. Same with Nolan Tarek. Hi! Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, let's go with Nolan first. Nolan. I feel like I don't see many people named Nolan. And I feel like Nolan is a very decent name. It's not like a, and I know it's probably a last name, like Christopher Nolan and all that, but I feel like it's a good name. I feel like it's an underused name. Morgana Lee Faye, and then the numbers are 0, just a 0 there. Thank you so much. And I think that's everyone. I think I'm caught up. Tragaban says, I'm trying to decide if I want to try and make more example D&D content while I'm unemployed, or if I'd rather try to GM online again. Ooh, that's a decision only you can make. DMing online can be very, like, decently profitable, but it is also really fucking, it takes a long time. And then SOG says, thank God you also put stuff on Facebook and Insta for us old people. Yeah, I feel bad for not looking at the Facebook comments that much, but they're pretty, I don't know. I have a rough time enjoying Facebook as an end user, so I mostly just post on there because it posts from Reels automatically over, so I don't have to deal with it, and that's quite nice. Smurgle says, thanks, Jordan, for the sub. And then Nolan says, thanks. Nolan Tarek is my old D&D character name. It's a good name. That's a good name. Ownbeer also says, I spent 3 weeks creating an ancient map for the party. I spent time distressing it so it looked old and weathered, burnt the edges a little, carefully stained it. That takes a lot of work. A lot of time and effort, only for them to use it for 2 minutes and never again. Oh, man. Yeah. I have a hard time, I don't know. I enjoy handouts, but I'm glad that I don't have to use them since I play online for the most part, and that makes it quite... Obviously, you know, I don't deal with them, but I do like digital handouts as well. So I'll give them to people on Discord, you know. Pram says the camera's jittering. It might be my desk shaking slightly. It shouldn't be. It might just be Instagram. If anyone else on Instagram sees it, let me know, and I can do absolutely nothing, but I'll acknowledge that it's a thing. And let's see, Biggie Cheese, thank you so much for the sub with Prime. Hello, hello. Oh my gosh, this board is fucking full. Hold on. Biggie Cheese. We'll add you in here. And then the numbers are, what was that number? 1218. Lovely to have you. Thank you so much for the sub. We also had Nimbus Comics, who said, found the problem. Somehow I had 2 separate Twitch accounts. Don't remember doing that, but this is the real Nimbus, and it's apparently my anniversary. Happy to be here. Hey, that's awesome. Welcome back, Nimbus. Let me add you to the board as well. Thank you so much for subscribing on Twitch. Nimbus Comics. There we go. Let's see. I had someone, Luke says I only use Facebook because it's a shitpost platform because I have to have an Have to have an account to manage the business accounts I help run. Oh yeah. Also, Wedge the One says, hello, I'm on Twitch for the first time. Hi, Wedge. And then Matthew Cole has subbed for a month at tier 1. Thank you so much, Matthew. Yeah, if you guys are subbed, it basically just means no ads and you get access to the emotes and things like that. And I personally really like the emotes. Matthew Cole, here we are, especially the stab one, but I think you have to be a certain level of Prime sub. You do also get free emotes even if you're just following, so you don't have to do anything for that. Matthew Cole, thank you so much for the sub with Prime. Your Bud Dick has also resubbed. Oh my goodness. Your Bud Dang. Lovely to have you. Deethan says dual stream watchers for the win. And then, let's see. Danny says, I'm going to be playing a Grave Domain Cleric of the Raven Queen, because we're going to be fighting mainly undead. Yeah, good call. And because my party doesn't know the meaning of planning ahead. Yeah, the Grave Cleric is always just kind of like the one keeping people, I don't know, away from the brink of death, but not all that successfully. I find D&D has that death spiral thing that, you know, a lot of TTRPGs tend to have, right? It's the same reason that having a potion be an action was kind of like not a great idea, is because if you start to die, even if you have a Grave Domain Cleric on your side, you're gonna keep dying because you're basically hovering around 1 hit point the whole time. But if you do some helpful stuff like Aura of Life, then that can be pretty good at keeping people up. Better than average, I guess I should say. So I guess I shouldn't be complaining, is what this all means. Viper says, chat, I have an announcement from PAX. Diana is an actual real-life person and not an AI on a computer screen. That's me. She shook my hand and gave me a pin. And also Maddie Bot says, I saw her at PAX as well, but I was working my booth though. Oh man, you're always welcome. Okay, I will say, to be fair, I was sprinting around on the floor the last day of PAX because I was so behind. I barely had time to watch it, to see everything. And I still missed a couple people. I feel really bad. There was this one dice company that I was supposed to say hi to, and I'm a huge fan of their dice. Like, they're so pretty. And they were like, hey, swing by. And I was like, I'll do my best. And then by Sunday, I collapsed. I was gone. Maddie Bot says, hi, I rarely come to Twitch, but I saw you on YouTube and realized I had Prime to give. Oh, that's sweet of you. And then Ellie Bear, who's here for the first time, says, what advice would you give for someone who had a hard time paying attention during sessions? Ooh, fidget toys are actually really common. I would say, especially if it's like an ADHD having trouble paying attention thing, I actually have been guested on various shows where I will go to the studio and then people will have fidget toys, not clicky ones, not distracting ones, but like silent fidgets available for their players to just kind of mess around with. I would also say, I mean, it's hard because I'm not coming at it from a ADHD perspective, so my head is just like, oh, just pay attention. But that's not an option. I don't know. Yeah, I would try fidget toys. I would also try seeing like what aspects of the game appeal to you the most and what makes you want to pay attention. And then try and talk to your GM, especially if they've noticed that, then, you know, talk to them about incorporating more of that into the game. Johnny, thank you so much for the sub. Crow's Perch is also here saying, feeling better after the con crud. It was great seeing you at PAX. I'm feeling better. Not quite 100% yet, but I'm getting there. And then let's see. Oh my god, Danny says, yeah, my brother hit 0 HP 3 times in our last fight. It really sucks. I honestly, my first instinct when I'm playing a cleric in D&D and someone has gone down isn't to heal them. My first instinct is to go straight for a divine intervention and see if they can get like an equivalent of the heal spell, so that way they aren't just balancing on the line between life and death the whole time. Because no matter what, especially at high levels, the amount of healing that you do is just disproportionately low to the amount of damage you could do if you use those spell slots for something else, you know? So. Gunbreaker said, I would love to make a homebrew world campaign, but finding people to play is apparently difficult. Oh yeah, it's not easy, but I don't know. I don't really have good advice on that front, on finding people to play other than start playing, but that's more for like players, not for people who want to run games. One thing I recommend is going to your friendly local game shop and checking out their Adventurers League nights or their little one-shot nights, because apparently sometimes people will wander in and they'll do you know, little one-shot nights or just drop-in, drop-out sessions or things to like celebrate releases or holiday one-shots. And you can find decent people through there. If you play with them a little bit and you enjoy their vibe, then you can like eventually, potentially work up enough of a friendship to be able to talk to them. And, you know, maybe get them at a table away from the TTRPG store or away from the game store or at the game store. I don't know. Let's see. Eric says, PAXs are so fun. I've been to PAX East and Unplugged. No Unplugged this year, though. Yeah, Unplugged this year was great. It was more popular than ever, I feel like. Hidden Icarus, Reaper Crowley, and Jiro Sexton gifted a sub. Style Wolfstead is also resub with Prime. Guys, we're at 468 sub points across the channel. We are almost there. Style Wolfstead, thank you so much. I am out of space. Still Wolfstead. And Jiro Sexton gifted a sub, but I know you're already on here. Yeah, there we go, ×2. There we are. And then Reaper Crowley is here. I'll put you in slightly sideways, Reaper. Crowley. I also saw someone mention what they put on their Christmas wish list for Christmas. So they actually answered the prompts, but it flew by way too fast. I didn't see it. So if anyone has any ideas for what you're asking for, let me know so I can steal them, because I don't know what to ask for. Hidden Icarus, thank you so much for the sub. Icarus, we'll add you to the board as well. Jove is on a 15th stream in a row. Hello, hello. And Nano says, my family was supposed to play D&D over Thanksgiving break so my sister could learn how, but it didn't happen, and I feel bad for my sister. Oh, I mean, having your sister watch games is also a really good way to learn. Also, Myodra says a magic booster box to play draft with friends. Yeah, oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I really want to ask for booster boxes, but like play boosters, you know. Cash also says, if you see Diane at a con, approach with caution. She refuses to eat like a normal human and may attempt to devour unsuspecting fans whole. Hydrate, bring snacks, and do not make sudden movements. I just don't eat at cons because I'm already spending so much money existing at a con. So partially it's a budget move, but also I just don't have time. This year's PAX was so much busier than I thought it would be. It was the equivalent of Gen Con for me, which is saying something, where it's like nonstop walking, like sprinting around almost, like trying to, there were sections, and I do feel bad about this, where I had to straight up like put my handler in the way and then walk behind him so that way I could get somewhere on time without being stopped. And I hate doing that. I usually try and budget enough time to say hi to people, but there were some moments where I was like, I'm about to be late for this meeting, and then the meeting after that, and then the meeting after that, and none of them were meetings that I thought would happen. It was crazy. I also feel so bad for not being around more on Sunday because I really wanted to see you guys. I think next year, next PAX Unplugged, I'm definitely going to do a meet and greet. I'm going to talk to Reed Pop about it because a lot of you guys were asking for them, asking if I had a designated like come say hi time. And outside of like after my panels, which not everyone can make, I didn't have any. And so I really do want to do something next year and get a proper like room set up and say hi to everyone. So I'm going to start doing that. So rest assured, next PAX Unplugged. I will always be at PAX Unplugged in Gen Con, so yeah. Hopefully there's more time down the road. Let's see, Dark Side of Mask says, I'm asking for Hero Forge gift cards for Christmas. Oh, nice, to get your own minis? That's a good call, I haven't heard anyone say that yet. We also have a Kodo who's subbed with Prime, a Chill Day who's subbed with Prime, hello, hello. And Nerd Emperor says, I'm about to run a session for my second session for my World War II campaign. Any ideas to add into the game? Oh god, I don't know shit about World War II. I know that World War II happened and that's really it. Are you trying to do like modern, are they actually in the war or is it like slice of life during the war? I guess. That would be my first question, honestly. Also, Yves says, hi Danny, welcome back from the PAX U recovery. Thank you. I'm trying. I'm still definitely sick. The longer I go without coughing, the more I can tell it's like creeping into my voice. Let's see, John Wiki, 195 over on Twitch says, I love playing Cleric, but my newest character is a Necromancer. I don't think I can ever go back. Oh man, like go back to Cleric after playing anything else? I get it. I personally really like Clerics. Clerics are actually, if you ask me, one of the most powerful classes in the game if you play them right. Especially, I'm pretty sure Forged Domain Cleric is considered one of the heaviest hitters. But I get it. It's hard. I really like playing like druids and things like that, so, you know. Let's see. Oh my gosh, Goots says, I do campaigns for my work crew that take place in hardware stores. Any suggestions? Oh man, like modern day hardware stores? I would suggest leaning really hard into the concept of like making, oh fuck, what are they called? Improvised weapons more effective than they can be, and then working with 5e like third-party supplements to get crafting going. Home Depot and Lowe's. Okay, you have to make the Home Depot and the Lowe's buckets a thing in the game. Highly recommend, because they're just too much of a meme not to, but definitely recommend working on crafting systems. And then you could also at one point do like a horror style one shot where it's almost like that IKEA from the SCPs. The IKEA that has like really fucked up looking uncanny valley workers in it, and they're like running around yelling at you that the store is closed and things like that, and they have to like survive for a certain number of days. A bucket of minor holding. Exactly. Equinox 4, hello. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. Raz the Beard is here for the first time, same as Citizen. And then Tahiro wants me to do a posture check, which I can absolutely do. Yeah, the Endless IKEA, says Cheese Prop. I fucking love this IKEA so much. Endless IKEA SCP. It's SCP number 3008. And I just pulled it up for those who are watching on the streams on YouTube and TikTok right now, and Twitch. So sorry if you're on Instagram, you won't be able to see it because I don't have that set up, but it's got some of my favorite lore ever. Some people have made it into video games and things like that too, where it's a fucking, just a huge ass IKEA that once you go in, you can't come back out again unless you happen to stumble across the exit. But like the cafeterias are your only source of food that replenish every now and then. Exactly, yeah. John Wiki is right. It's 100% the exact same thing. It's super cool. Matthew Cole says the buckets have to be helmets. That would be pretty fucking funny. Can you imagine getting... It kind of reminds me of those people who will make whole ass outfits out of like Natty Light containers and the cardboard that they use to package those beers. And then they'll just flatten them and then make like armor out of it. There was actually a guy wandering around PAX Unplugged who had, oh my god, IKEA Dread domain. Dude, actually though, that would be fucking hilarious. A domain of Dread that's just, oh. That'd be good. Also doing this as PAX U-Haul. That is over on TikTok, actually. I've got part 1 up. Part 2 will be coming next week. Actually, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, Tuesday. Where I talk about everything I got at PAX Unplugged. Some new games came up. Some new Magic cards. DBCU actually got me a Bloomborough set for... God, what's the squirrel? The squirrel. Victor says domain expansion IKEA. Sorry, still sick. Armageddon Flame, thank you so much for the sub, and thank you for the follow. Fingerguns 904, thanks for being here. Okay, wait, hold on. I need to add a chill day. Equinox 4. Dude, Equinox is such a good name. I want to name a cat Equinox. Armageddon. Flame. There we go. Lovely to have you. And then Akoto Garu. Thank you so much. Akoto Garu. Thank you for being here. I think that's it. I think I'm caught up. Let's see. Oh, and Ratmuck says, Dinah, I feel like you know the answer to this. What are some good resources on researching mythological creatures like vampires? I'm trying to do some research for a gothic horror campaign. Ooh. Okay, my first instinct at the minute you say research is the boring answer, which is to go to Google Scholar and start looking up like how vampires, if we go into like the culture of it throughout time and like, I guess the role they play, but that's really high level. Also, we instantly summon Matt Stormcrow. Hi, Matt! We're talking about vampires and how you can like go about researching them. Also, Dr. Norb says, for those who went, I hope you enjoyed PAX. It was so much fun. It was such a good con. Okay, let's see. Biggest Dickus over on YouTube says, for a support wizard, you can do a divination wizard to help make enemies fail saving throws against things like hold person, so your melee party members can whack the hell out of them. Yeah, I really like support wizards. They're not my favorite niche to fill, personally, but I'm also not good at support. So, World Tree Quest says, look at Celtic mythos. Bram Stoker actually based Dracula mostly on an Abertak, an Irish vampire. Oh, what is an Abertak? Oh, man. Okay, also known as a Vartach, is an early Irish legend which was first collected in Patrick Weston Joyce's The Origin and the History of Irish Names of Places. Oh, man. So, like, this is taking real world lore and diving into it. As far as, like, the like mythology of things, maybe the old like dragonology books. I don't know. I'm very bad at research on fantasy stuff. I'm great at research on real things. Matt says Encyclopedia of Vampires and the Vampire book are good reading. Okay, write that down. Matt knows what he's talking about. Also, Ratmug says, also, I consistently forget to use Google Scholar, so thank you. I haven't used Google in like 2 years. Yeah, Google Scholar's great. Also, Shelly, hi. Guys, everyone say hi to Shelly Von Miller. Amazing drag queen, wonderful human being. And then Dova says, do you have a favorite SCP? Ooh, yeah, it's the, hold on. It's SCP-458. I just fucking love the concept of this little guy. For those who can't see it over on Instagram, I'm currently talking about SCP-458, which is like a Little Caesars pizza box, I'm pretty sure. It's either Little Caesars or Pizza Hut or something like that. And it's straight up, it just creates your ideal pizza and then gives it to you. It's really cool. Ratmuck says, is that a square cut pizza? Yeah, I don't know. The square cut's a little fucked up, but I just really want pizza. Alright also says, just passing by to say, awesome channel. Ah, thank you. Thanks for passing by. And then, let's see. Matt says, the Encyclopedia of Vampire Mythology by Teresa Bain is a good one. And you can trust them because their last name is Bain, and that's sick as fuck. Matt also says, there's also an old GURPS book called Blood Types, which is a good overview of the world's vampire mythology. Oh, Blood Types is a great name. God, I love fucking vampire people so much. It makes me want to play, like, I'd have never given a shit about Vampire the Masquerade or the related, like, world mythos, but everyone who plays those games is so objectively fucking cool that it makes me wish I was in it. Oh my god, it's sick. Impulsive says my favorite is SCP-789J. 789J. The J ones are jokes. Let's see. It's a... Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna read this one out loud. I'm just gonna let you guys read it. White Wolf says the White Wolf games are great. Yeah. And then World Tree says Vampire the Masquerade is fucking amazing. I'm running one soon. Ah! Yeah, I just like the expanded universe of like Changeling and then Hunter and then Werewolf and all that. I feel like I'm a werewolf girly, if anything, because it's obviously all ecological nightmares, but turned into a TTRPG. Cashcall said, wait, when did we become cool? When I was in high school, I got picked on for it. Dude, so I had someone come up to me at PAX Unplugged, and this is my favorite thing that anyone said for the sake, like the entire convention. It's my favorite type of interaction, which is when people come up to me, and they're on the older side, and they come up and they're like, hey, can I have a picture with you? Like, you're amazing. And they're super respectful and super kind, and like, they're like, they almost instantly, without fail, launch into talking about how TTRPGs were not, you know, TTRPG as a term is not a known term, and wasn't back when they were a kid, and they were playing it since like the 70s, and now they're getting their kids into it and their grandkids into it, and they're like, yeah, like I show my kids asked me about D&D because of your videos, or they're like, oh, I show your kids, my kids your videos, to try and get them into it. Now they think it's the coolest thing ever, and like their old man never would have been cool back in the day, but now it's back, and you're helping with that, and they were like, thank you so much. It's my favorite interaction in the fucking world. Mostly because it's not me, it's Stranger Things. I will fully admit that. But in Critical Role, they're doing all the work. I'm just here. But it's really nice. It's super sweet. Droidian says, oh yeah, I got made fun of in high school. Had to feel people out before telling them and asking them to play. Parents even tried to stop us from playing. To be fair, the Satanic Panic was wild. I say that like I was alive for it. I wasn't. Oh man, if I had been told, oh my god, this game is satanic, do you have any idea how much money I would have invested in that fucking game back then? I would have single-handedly bankrolled Gary Gygax's dinners for the rest of eternity if that right there is a challenge. At least in my head. Morning World says, what about a Horrified Monster Hunter campaign? Horrified as in the Ravensburger game? God, I haven't thought about that game in a while. I have the D&D version. Also, World Tree says, someone did that to me at PAX U at the Red Bull party, and I just kind of had to walk it off. Imposter syndrome kicks in wildly. I never even heard about the Red Bull party. I think I was also just dead for it. Or at a dinner, I think I was. Was it fun, though? It seemed amazing. Citizen says, my friend who got me into D&D told me I wasn't allowed to speak of it at school. Now, as a teacher, I encourage my students of all groups to try it out. Telling them that I play breaks a bit of the stigma. Thank you. Yeah. Also, Ryuji, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome back. We also have DBD Hag and Hellsent Viper who have followed for the first time. It's lovely to have you. After Hours Arcade says, hey, Diana, how have you been? I'm dead. I'm dying. I'm dead. I'm sick. That's it. Silly Syrup says, it was nice meeting you at PAX. I was the one wearing a deep purple shirt and a fanny pack across the chest who said I'm a fan for a while. I found Flip 7 from your video on travel games. Holy shit, yeah. I'm so sorry for all the havoc that I'm sure that game has caused. Holy shit. But yeah, Flip 7's an amazing game. It's just fun. It's gambling, but for kids. Also, Husky says being sick sucks. I know, it's not great. Oh yeah, Jordan says the old deities and demigods set a lot of people back. Yeah. And Matt says, people asked me for pictures of me LARPing vampire 25 years ago. I could find 2 total and posted them on TikTok. That's gotta be sick. That's gotta be so cool. Also, Eli says, my girlfriend started the D&D club at the school she teaches. Ah, that's amazing. I mean, it's also like, and I don't often talk about this specific part of it because then it makes it like, lame for some people. But genuinely, D&D has such big positive mental health aspects. Not even D&D, but TTRPGs in general. That there is very little, like, except for good that comes out of them being more popular and not at all like part of, I don't know, part of the cultural zeitgeist or whatever smart people say. Because smart people know words that start with Z, like zeitgeist. It's good for you. It's good for your mental health development. It's good for your emotional and social learning. It's good for you being able to play test, social identities and things like that. It's so good. I also really want to get into the concept and the studies behind whether or not it can help older people staving off dementia and things like that to be able to play D&D, getting it more into nursing homes and memory care facilities and the like. Like, those are cool. That's a great concept. If I can be fucking 90 years old and still role-playing as a little tiefling, little piece of shit bard, then you bet your ass I want to be doing that. That was a mild tangent. I just want more TTRPGs everywhere. That's it. Firebird says, how young are you? The Satanic Panic was still going in my area when I was in elementary school. I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon, so that might be a thing, is that we were very non-religious, basically as a culture. So, but I'm 26 if that gives you any indication. I also saw someone say hi. Yeah, Dr. Kevin says, Diana, have you ever played a mix of D&D and Alien Invasion? I haven't. I actually don't know anything about Alien, or Alien culture or anything like that, really. I should. I don't know. I hear Alien Isolation as a game is really cool. World True Quest says it's amazingly helpful to help kids with vocab skills too. My kids are such vivid, creative minds because of the games we played. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Husky also says retirement homes are gonna be lit when I get there. Imagine running a campaign when literally everyone had nothing else to do. Yeah. Oh, I hate that I have to wait till retirement to run a decent campaign, but at this point, it's probably where it's headed given the state of everything. Internet says the old people will start casting Fireball and casting charm spells on the staff. And Fingergun says, what would you say you're strongest at as a DM? Like roleplay, improvising, or running combat? Definitely not running combat, and I only say that because I have accidentally closed my initiative tracker tab more times than I've actually been able to successfully keep it open. And it got to the point where my players had to start keeping track of initiative on their side because they knew I would eventually accidentally close the tab and then forget everything that was happening in combat. I would say descriptions. You know, especially if you attack it from the Connie Chong 5 senses method, where you try and activate all 5 senses, you know, saying that the air feels cool as you walk into an old cellar and that you can start to hear the echoing of the ranger, maybe not the ranger, of the barbarian's feet against the tile and how, you know, you can see your breath walking up in front of you, that sort of stuff, right? That, I think, is the closest I get to improvising. I'm not very good at improvising, though, so. Matt says the Alien RPG is amazing. I've heard nothing but amazing things about the RPG, actually. And it hasn't been out that long, either, but it was, like, a crazy successful Kickstarter, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. Also, Bogus Lich says, hello, happy to see another nerd from Oregon. Yeah, hello. And then Lord Laddie says, check out SCP-1276. It's a really creepy yet interesting one. Oh, no. Let's see. 1276. Is this gonna jump scare me? The Venusian launch pad. Ooh, okay. I've never heard of this one. It's considered safe, though. It's a pyramid of presumed Mayan construction, approximately 2,700 years old, located in a remote area of a river basin. The structure is heavily engraved and believed to have been dedicated to astronomy and astrology. The anomalous property is centered at a platform on top of the structure, which has a 3.1 meter square metallic plate of unknown composition. It has no signs of aging and is heavily engraved with ancient Mayan hieroglyphs, as well as what's believed to be mythological figures along the outside perimeter, along with human figures prostrated before them. Whenever the heliacal rising of planet Venus occurs, the platform is momentarily suffused with blue glow, after which all living human subjects are instantly accelerated upwards into the atmosphere through an unknown means? Oh, man. Okay. Well, you just get launched into fucking Venus? Ugh. Wild. Okay. Let's see. DVD, hi, saying there's a Fallout TTRPG. It's pretty fun to play / run. Yeah, Dice Times did a show in it. Scotty K Fitness is a huge Fallout fan and is actually a massive fan of D&D and TTRPGs, and obviously as a huge Fallout fan has gotten really into the TTRPG as well. Let's see. Guyver says, I think you're beautiful and amazing. Thank you. My question is, would you ever play D&D with Joe Manganiello? I think that he would be an amazing game to watch. I've heard he's actually a dick in real life, but I had not met the guy, and people have all sorts of rumors about celebrities, so I don't know. I don't really have any people that I want to play with as far as, like, celebrity status, though. I have people that I want to play with because they're good players that I just have friends, like Hannah Harper. Maddie and Kiki are both amazing TTRPG players. Jade, Too Hard the Bard, is one of my favorite players of all time. Odin's son and Lav, they're wonderful. I go by merit of, like, really good TTRPG player more so than I do celebrity, you know, like really good at improvising, really good at vivid descriptions of combat, really good at making it like exciting to listen to. House Duggan says Hannah's the best. Yeah, Hannah's great. And DVD says randomized SBU, whichever one you land on, you gotta survive. How cooked are you? Oh god, I'll get to that in a sec. Also, Chief Singh says, aren't you celebrity status, Diana? In a very, I'm not a household name, even in the D&D space, but I appreciate it. Eli says, what do you think about the new Cosmere TTRPG, if you've heard about it? I actually don't know anything about Brandon Sanderson. I fear that I don't know. I mean, I've heard okay things about the Cosmere, but I don't know if that's because people have played it or if because they like the concept of it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Brandon Sanderson girly. Sorry. Let's see. Argent Will says, I can vouch for Joe. He's very fun. Oh, sweet. Hell yeah. Yeah, it's in that case. The only thing I know about the guy is that he passed by me once at Gen Con and someone was holding his dog and I thought his dog was the cutest thing ever. That's all I got. I don't know much about celebrities, and I also don't watch other people play TTRPGs that often, so I don't know how they play as players. But as long as they're cool, then I'd be down. Aviera says, I think you can utilize your descriptions if you read more into Avatar Legends. They use combat exchange systems, which on top of using descriptive bending can help you adapt to that into D&D. Oh, I love that sort of stuff. I love anything that can be adapted or like kind of gets people to think more about how they want to describe their shit. Like, oh my god, what was it? I think it was Michael, Improv GM, was talking to me about Ars Magica forever ago. And in that game, you can fully like go and create your own spells. And I think that would be a really good tool to get people used to the concept of, I'm gonna snooze the ad. There we go. Get used to the concept of describing things, I suppose, especially magic. Lord Drunken Badger says hello from Wisconsin. Hi! And then Housecat says, I've read all of Brandon Sanderson's books and series. His world building is legendary, honestly. It's a great place to go for inspiration. I really like reading of any kind for inspiration, especially when you get into horror GMing, because horror, and I've talked about this before, so forgive me if you've heard this forever ago. And I talk about this all the time, but the concept of TTRPGs and horror TTRPGs specifically are a little bit limited by the fact that it's not a physical medium, right? You're using theater of the mind to get across these concepts of horrifying creatures and horrifying circumstances and tension that usually is portrayed through things like movies or audio dramas where there's jump scares and loud music and things like that, and sound and music that backs the rising tension. Instead, in TTRPGs, you have the same struggle as you have with horror novels, where you have to go with theater of the mind, you have to go with vivid descriptions of horrifying things that are timed perfectly. So, that being said, you can still get scared from a book. Books are still scary. So if you read horror novels and you focus on how the author and essentially the author, the narrator, are describing these scary things, then you can take that and use it as a lesson for how you can describe scary things in your TTRPGs, because it's still a spoken word medium versus a read word medium, of course, but it's still just words, and you still have to scare people with just words, and it's really hard to do. So copying how books do it is a really good way to learn. Copying how books do anything is a really good way to learn. Same with like the way that books can't do accents. So don't worry about the fact that you can't do an accent at your D&D table. You know, just think about how the book is describing the physicality or the croaking voice of the character or the assured, self-assured sort of like body language that person has, and then do that in your TTRPGs. So that way you're focusing on the description of their character and the description of their voice, as opposed to actually doing a voice or actually doing an accent, you know? Chief Stingy says, I like how Dread and Year Zero, like Alien Invasion, have mechanics for tension for horror games. Yeah, Dread is a whole other beast. I fucking love Dread so much. I need to do another video on Dread. Also, Vanish says, I just watched your video on how gods work in your game, and I love it. Yeah, so back in the day, I was thinking about this the other day, a couple of people in this chat over on Twitch are actually, like, gods in my D&D worlds because they donated for it at a certain point. And so, Cash Cow in particular is the god of dreams and sleep. There's also a god of fungi in my world. And that sort of, like, flexibility of having every god exist, as long as someone can just think about them, then they exist. Having that happen makes it so much easier to make gods be literally anything. It's so much fun. Also, DBD Hag says, I hear Daggerheart has a fear system. It's supposed to be neat. It does. It's not quite the same as like a fear system, the way that you would expect from like a horror game. It's actually more just a tool to... Fear and hope are just ways to like give power or the spotlight to the GM versus the player. It's not an actual scary thing. It's more a way of just giving people almost like the ability to use moves in a playbook powered by the apocalypse style, you know? J-Bang says, books can do accents. Try reading The Wee Free Men or any of the book with Clan McFeagle by Terry Pratchett. Good to yeah, no, that's a good point. I hear there is actually an accent out there, and I forget what it's called, or a language out there that voice actors can learn to read, but it's one of the hardest things to learn in the world, where you can read almost the pronunciation of words. And if you learn how to do it quickly enough and you read aloud certain pronunciations and you learn how to read this language, then you can do accents without even thinking about it. I really want to learn it someday. I think it's cool. Just for funsies. I'm not trying to be a voice actor, but I think it'd be cool. Let's see. Guyver says, I'm sorry, I feel like in the last 5 years, you definitely elevated D&D to more as the thing to do on Friday night. If there's a list of people that you think of D&D, you and Joe are part of that list. I'm honored. And Isaiah says, guys, I finally figured out the Gishath WinCon for Commander. Overwhelming Stampede calls for instant GG. Oh man, I haven't played Commander in forever. I've been too sick. I really want to though. I learned what Scry Table was the other day. Oh, excited for it. Oh, Husky Dread says like the phonetic alphabet. It's not the phonetic alphabet, but it's something, hold on. Voice actor language to read. It's more specific to accent. The International Phonetic Alphabet. It is, yeah. There we go. It's an alphabetic system of phonetic notation based on the Latin script. It's used as a standard written representation for the sounds of speech. It's used by linguists, lexicographers, foreign language students, and teachers, singers, actors, constructed language creators, and translators. It's designed to represent those qualities of speech that are part of lexical and, to a limited extent, prosodic sounds in spoken language. Phones, intonation, and the separation of syllables. Is there an example? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, it uses different symbols. It's also occasionally modified by the association. Usage. Oh my god, this is the word international? Hold on. That's the word international. Holy shit. Matt says if you sing opera, it's pretty much required to learn how to sing from IPA, so you don't have to learn all the languages needed. A friend of mine sings opera and doesn't know any French, Italian, or German, but can sing in them. That is so intense. That's so fucking cool. Oh yeah, spell table, that's it. Hi DB, and hi Kiki. Kiki says, glad you're feeling better. Doing okay, existing. Husky says, I remember seeing a video about it. It's difficult to learn because each letter or symbol represents a certain mouth movement or airflow rather than exact sounds or something like that. Oh, ugh, wild. Let's see. Aviera says, I pulled my god system from the animated movie Rise of the Guardians. If you believe in something hard enough, they manifest as god. I had a fog god because my players were convinced that fog showed up at the worst time. Curse that fog guy. That's actually hilarious. That's a great use of gods. And Kiki says existing counts as better. Hell yeah. I'm doing my best out here. doing my best. Which of the ones says, I have a question about a character I'd like to use in a campaign. Basically, they're either a beast barbarian or a totem warrior, bear totem barbarian, and they're an urchin. And they're half wood elf, maybe a tiefling. And my question is, how would they even be good at weapons? Like, so far in the backstory, they just did crime with their older sister and older brother. I was thinking they could be a pit fighter or fight people, and then people bet on their fights. But I don't know. Oh, so like, where would they have gotten their training? I think urchins have to inherently be really good at that sort of stuff, especially because like you have to defend yourself against other people trying to take what you have, I imagine. But I think it depends on the nature of their urchin background, because like you could be just a straight up like poor beggar child street urchin, and that in and of itself means you'd be really good with specifically improvised weapons too. You'd be able to make almost like a prison shiv out of anything. So that's my first thought, but that's also like the really obvious thought. Hold on. There we go. Beyond that, you could also make it so that, you know, when you're a street urchin, you spend a lot of time just fucking maybe watching people who are really good fighters, perhaps. And so maybe they just kind of like picked up on it over time, or they had a lot of spare time where they sat around and did a bunch of like almost play fighting with sticks, or they watched a local blacksmith at work and learned what makes a good weapon. I don't know. You can really kind of play with it and make it however you want to. Also, Wisdom Saving says, let's see, are you taking requests on TikTok to join the live? Me and one of my players are looking for advice on how to break one of our players into role-playing, a macho dude who struggles with roleplay. Oh, I'm not taking guests on live. I will say, trying to very subtly guide them into it. First of all, don't force them or else they'll know what's happening. You gotta be real careful about this. It's almost like tricking a dog into eating medicine, you know, where you're gonna start off by having NPCs talk to this person in their language, you know, especially if they're going up and they're like, oh, you know, instead of going up and in character asking a guard, hey, you there, you know, have you seen this person around lately? We're trying to track down, you know, this missing person. Instead of them having to speak in first person, go along with them when they speak in third person. Say, you know, if they go, oh yeah, my character goes up to the guard and asks them if they've seen this person around, and they hold up a poster. First of all, start off by speaking back to them as the guard in third person as well, and being like, okay, yeah, the guard just kind of gives you a little nod and says that they have seen the person around, and then slowly slide into first person speech. Then go into, yeah, you know, the guard said that he has seen the person around. You see him kind of like twirling his mustache a little bit as he thinks, and he goes, I think I saw him move that way down the alleyway, chasing after someone kind of angrily, and I haven't really seen him since. So you kind of want to start off in third person and then move to first person as the NPC, and then that will get the other person to want to mimic you and mirror you and move into first person from third person as well, if that makes sense. I'm saying the word person a lot, and I realize that's confusing. Palpatine's Fist says, so Diana's just suggesting you gaslight your friend and change their habit. Yeah, that's it. That's all you do. That's all I've ever done. But let's see. Boba says a haunted spirit Halloween story would be crazy. Oh, and then J-Bang says, Pratchett doesn't use the phonetic alphabet. He just spelled Scottish like it's pronounced, and it works surprisingly well. Husky Dread also says, my only rule with gods popping up in D&D is whenever the dog/cat does something that messes with the session, it's lore accurate and a god messing with the party. I love that. Oh, I love it when people will like sit their cats down at the table and be like, oh, there's the druid wild shaping again and looks like he's stuck. And the cat's just like, meow. And you're like, yeah, Bobby, we get it. We see you. We know that you're stuck. You shouldn't have pissed off that god that one time. Yeah, no, I love that sort of stuff. Boards and Swords, thank you so much for the sub with Prime. It's great to see you. Also, After Hours Arcades wants me to hydrate. I can do that. Let's see. DVD says, yeah, Scots is its own language, but unfortunately it's dying out and not seen as proper, and you get told in schools to stop speaking it. Ugh, I kind of hate that. I also feel like it shouldn't be on parents to maintain their language. It should be at least partially done through schools. I'm speaking as someone who is half Latina and who never learned Spanish from my mom, even though she's fluent and from Mexico and all that. I had to learn it fully through school, and guess who walked away not knowing a fucking lick of Spanish after 5 years? So, I don't know. It shouldn't be 100% on the parents. you know. William says, I'm about to run a campaign for the first time. Any tips for playing with people who are very different from each other? Ooh. I mean, as long as they all have equal investment in the story, perhaps, then in theory, it should go fine. I would definitely recommend making sure that the session 0 lays out the fact that the party needs to all work together and that they need to have a reason for working together. If they don't, then why are they here? You know, you need to make sure that group cohesion is something that you guys are committed to making happen above the table. And I wouldn't even introduce the possibility, if your party is really that different and there's really that much of a threat of people not getting along, make sure they know that inter-party conflict will not be allowed, at least until they get into the flow of the game. Because you don't want to introduce the possibility of that, you know? Let's see. Matt says, my family is one of those that spoke Texas German, a unique German dialect in Texas. We stopped speaking in the early 20th century due to social pressure, and I kind of regret it. Oh, yeah. And then also someone talked about Gaelic. Gaelic and Scots is different, but they're both dying out, though. Or, in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, says Husky, it's known as the funny scribbly language. After Hours says, I had to learn Spanish on my own. And then Drax says, you should. Español es superior. I don't know. Yeah, I just didn't spend enough time around. Not that I didn't spend time around Spanish speakers. It's that there was no effort made to like ingrain it in my head, essentially. I don't know. Oh my gosh. PBCB. Hello. It says, do you think healing magic like Cure Wounds is focused enough to not affect piercings, or is it general enough to push out a new one / heal around it, or what? Oh, that's a really good question. I would say it would. If the piercing is healed fully, then you should be fine. It's kind of like if you have I don't know, I almost said a tattoo. I know they're totally different. But your body isn't gonna reject the ink after getting healed because it's already a part of you. Same with a piercing. I have had this piercing since I was 2. Again, Mexican, it's bullshit. I didn't want it, obviously. But man, that lady at Claire's was persistent. It's a thing in Latin culture to have your ears pierced when you're incredibly fucking young and can't consent to it, and it pisses me off to no end. But I haven't worn earrings in so fucking long. I deliberately went without wearing them for basically the entirety of my high school career because I didn't like them, and the holes haven't closed up. So I would say like if you wait long enough for the wound to heal and you get to the point where you can take out a piercing and have it not close over, then healing won't help you. It won't close up the hole. That being said, someone brought up true restoration. And I feel like this is slowly winding its way back around to that argument of whether or not true restoration or any healing spells that grow back body parts would then make it so that you're no longer circumcised after you get healed in that manner. And to that I say, yeah, probably not circumcised anymore. I don't know, man. I think as long as the piercing is healed. Can you imagine trying to get a piercing and then you're just like, okay, no one fucking heal me for 3 days. Okay, or else I need, or even 3 weeks. I need 3 weeks of no healing. I'm just gonna do it the slow way. Or else you just waste your money. My editor says, what if you use only for a while lead piercing, the cast healing magic? Oh, interesting. I feel like that would have bigger ramifications with regards to the lead. It's still not good for you. Also, After Hours says, would it get rid of tattoos? No. Because once the ink is in that lower level of your skin, it's there. You know, you can have your skin burned and then it still be kind of like underneath that level of the epidermis. So I don't think you can get rid of a tattoo. And I don't think Greater Restoration would do that either. Oh my gosh, also Justin Smith says, I love your world building podcast. You've taught me so much. Oh my god. Oh, I'm glad you like it. And then, let's see, Vanish says, my friends and I have been doing a long-term ocean-based campaign for the last few years that's less combat-based. Instead, my players run a merchant's guild that's on the back of a giant turtle. So it's fun to try other ways to play instead of combat. Yeah. And then saying, it would kind of be fun to base the healing magic around the purling. Kind of like an embedded artifact that grants the magic. Ooh. That'd be kind of cool. But I'm also a big fan of magic spells being reflavored as fucking anything. So like we were talking earlier about a Ripper Doc artificer that can like infuse your bones with the runes necessary to make a spell happen. I think that shit is cool. I think you can flavor that, you know, as is with the existing artificer stuff. I think it's sick. So anything that does like really, really cool. God, can you imagine? Oh, can you imagine an artificer or a cleric or a bard that's just straight up a surgeon, and your body gets, they go in and they surgically implant the rough equivalent of like a glow stick capsule in between your bones. And so that way, if your bone breaks, then the glass capsule inside your body breaks open and it hurts like fucking hell, but it releases a healing potion. And then it just targeted causes your body to heal in that specific zone. Oh, I kind of love it. I kind of want to do that. Someone write that down. Let's see. Renee over on TikTok says, people imagine too little in tabletop games sometimes. Reflavor and have fun. Exactly. Get really fucked up with it. Get really weird with it. Tell your GM I said you could. DVD also says, how would regenerate work with organ transplants? Would it regrow your messed up organ? I feel like no, but I feel like it would, if anything, just solidify a more gentle transition between your tissue and the tissue that has been replaced. Because if your body's not rejecting it and it's a replaced organ, then you're already good. Your body doesn't know the difference. The only reason your body hasn't rejected it is because it already thinks it's itself. So I think if anything, it would make it so that it extra anchors that in there. Oh, Crayhack wants us to guide the raid. Crayhack, who are we sending the raid to? And then Macy says, my character's gonna be painfully grow wings soon, and I'm super excited to roleplay that moment. Oh, that's cool. I love that sort of stuff. Nimbus says it regrows the donor. Oh, Jesus. Jayhawk also said, D&D 3.5 had some rules for like a false tooth that held a potion capsule, so you could start with something like that for a rules example. Yeah, or like some Ruby level type, like just capsules full of powders and things like that you store your weapon, your magic in, and you just like grenade style throw it on the ground. I came up with an idea for a ceramicist artificer one time that just kept all of their spells in like a little ceramic capsule. And that was where it all went. At Taylor Liz. Yeah, we can absolutely raid into them. Still got a little while. But folks are having a great night. We're still alive. We're still vibing. Yeah, a ceramicist or a glassblower artificer. Oh, I want to do one so bad. Especially because, like, it's so inconvenient to glass blow. And then Viper says, did you say Ruby, like the Rooster Teeth show? Yeah, I liked the elemental world building that show. I didn't like everything else about it, I would say. I don't think it made sense. But I'm also a stickler for that sort of stuff. Macy says, for reference, my character is a tiefling, and she's going to become an optional winged tiefling variant when her alignment shifts from neutral evil to lawful evil, and she becomes a proper devil. Ooh, yeah, painful, like growing sequences are super fun. Any sort of transformation being actually kind of horrifying is super sick. Oh man, even healing being kind of painful is one of my favorite things ever. Like it basically, you can think of it as like, you know, a healing spell that instantly burns away any infected tissue, causes your body to become incredibly, like to instantly expend massive amounts of energy at a single time in a concentrated location. I feel like it would burn. And you would feel tired as hell afterwards. DBT says that Ruby was mid, but the gun nunchucks were sick as fuck. Oh my god. And then Myodra says, what about a set of characters that are circus performers and their rituals are the performances? I like that sort of stuff. I also think it's cool because it would make sense for how much you'd have to practice that sort of thing. That says they're real-world glass-blowing artificers. They're called scientific glassblowers, and they make elaborate custom chemistry setups. Dude, what? Scientific glassblowers? It reminds me of that one, like, the American Scientific Glassblowing Glassblower. You read it. I'm not reading it. That's cool. It reminds me of that one, like, teardrop-shaped bit of glass that is, like, bulletproof from the front. But then if you so much as touch the thinner end of it, it just like explodes. Also, Mr. Clamp says, hey, Diane, are you going to PAX East? Yeah, so far my PAX schedule, or my convention schedule for next year is East, West, Unplugged, and Gen Con. I'm trimming TwitchCon so far. I might go to TwitchCon. It's just everything is going to be really expensive for the next year. I'm already on eating like buttered toast for a meal a day levels of saving money. So I don't know. Oh, also, DVD says, have you seen the new circle spells in D&D? I haven't. Oh, yeah. And Eric says Rupert's Drop. Is that what it's called? Oh my god, also, why is this so? There we go. Rupert's Drop. Is that the one? Yeah. Prince Rupert's Drop. So I guess it's just something about the physics of it. It just breaks apart if you do it in a certain way, I suppose. Aviera says, I'm running a game this Saturday where the boss can only be targeted after it's fully healed because it's a ghost god. As each part of the body is healed, I plan to describe it as a grotesque overgrowth that's now in the material plane. Oh, can you imagine too, if you don't have the stem cells to work off of like getting an actual body part formed in the way that it's quote unquote supposed to be formed, and you don't have that stem cell memory, then it would just be like a massive tumor that's roughly in the shape of a human. Also, Astro, hi. Cause like, I don't know. Ugh. Oh, also, let's see. Which of the ones is I have another question about my barbarian. I know half wood elf and tiefling are not really that good for barbarian because their ability score bonuses are not that good, and their general abilities too. But wood elves do have fleet of foot, and I just like them. I think it'd be cool to have a tiefling barbarian ram someone with their horns, or a half wood elf just from the top rope like Big Show from a tree, but they can't be super big like orcs or Goliaths. Yeah, the scrappy little guy is 100% a valid way to go. Like, you can even make it so that they don't necessarily like hit hard in pure force, but it's more like they know pressure points, or they happen to know that if you strike at someone's knee sideways, it'll do a hell of a lot more damage than if you just try and attack their shin. Or maybe they've studied the way that certain people have weak spots in armor, so maybe they're specialized against people who wear armor and they know exactly what to go against. Matt says it would be like a parasitic twin. Do not look up parasitic twins. Oh god, I'll do it after stream's over. Let's see. Vanished Knight also says, I have a player who loves playing a druid construct. Kind of like a giant gentle robot who was forgotten by time, but it's hard to find a way to work them into meeting the rest of the party. Ooh, have the rest of the party just stumble across them. Or maybe it's a, you could have that party member be a MacGuffin. And so the goal of a quest is for the party to find this person. And then when they get to it, they accidentally awaken it or some other thing. And then the person wakes up and has a whole ass voice and is a whole ass human being. And then they're like, wait, we can't just turn this over to this guy. That's basically slavery to the quest giver. That's basically slavery. So maybe they just like come across them, brush the dust off, and then invite them to join the party, you know? Especially when it comes to like the forgotten by time aspect, you can make it so that that person has extra information about the history of the world because they've watched it form around them that the rest of the party needs. Like, maybe they have, I don't know, the last time I had a Warforged in my party who awoke from an ancient slumber, it was like all of their coins were from stamped with the visage of a previous monarch that hadn't been alive for generations. That sort of stuff, you know? Maybe they have hidden knowledge about the past or that location that just straight up no one else knows. So that also makes them useful to the party. So definitely make sure they're not just like an NPC who's just tagging along for the ride. Make sure that they have something the rest of the party needs. Let's see. Wisdom Saving Crow says, thank you for your matcha discussion. It's very helpful. We're doing a Greek/Western campaign. We're British. And he's playing a Brit fisticuffs dwarf with a soft spot for hard liquor. The rest of us have done our best American accents, but he struggles with it. And I know one of his favorite things is history. How can I incorporate that into the game to get him more seriously involved in roleplay rather than just shitty jokes and masking, which we all still love him for? Ooh. I would look into... I always find it fascinating, the technology of the time. Greek/Western is a wild mix. But you could look at, like, the development of different tools, maybe? I know, I find it fascinating how people made things like irrigation work back in the day. A Brit fisticuffs dwarf. Things like the steam engine came around during that time. Maybe you could incorporate actual like Steam technology into the world, very much like the same way that what's his fuck in Red Dead Redemption arrives on a train and they're like, oh, the West is disappearing, blah, 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 blah. That's a potential idea. I know that would interest me as like a history person. And incorporating that into the campaign and making it be like, hey, like this player knows what's happening in this with this technology. My brain is dying from the sickness, so hopefully that helps. Husky Dread says find their autistic fixation and have an NPC ask about it. That too, but the thing is the player in character also has to know what it is. So maybe look into their backstory and see if there's any way to incorporate real historical Western and Greek culture with things in their backstory and give them extra information in game that only they would have and the rest of the party doesn't. And that'll get them a little bit more into roleplay. Let's see. Smitty says, I've never played D&D and I have no idea how to play, but I have been interested lately in playing for some time, for the first time. I also don't know anyone that plays D&D. What could be some ways that I can play? Your friendly local game shop will almost always have rotating like D&D sessions in the form of what they call Adventurers League. Or you can try Start Playing. Start Playing is a paid service for the most part, but there are some people who do, there we go. There are some people who do like learn to play sessions. I would say if you're trying to figure out how to play for the first time too, watching someone else play is the best way to learn D&D. It's a very complicated game and reading the book won't do you any good, I fear. But watching other people play is a really good way to do it. I think definitely friendly local game shops are a good way to go. You can even swing by and ask to watch and it can be a lot of fun. So. All right, let's see. Allegedly Macy says, I've always been a solid voice actor. I grew up doing theater. Yeah, and honestly, I love DMing just because I have so much fun voicing random NPCs. Yeah, oh my god, I fucking love. I usually just write down who I like model the NPC after and then call it good. Usually it's some random celebrity in a really bad like accent. But I think we're just about done for the night. Let me see if I can send you guys over to Taylor Liz, as we had someone submit a request to guide the raid. So I'm gonna send you guys over to them. I don't know who this person is, but it looks like they're playing Dispatch. I don't know anything about Dispatch. So don't spoil anything if there are spoilers, if it's that kind of game. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching over on TikTok. I'm gonna say goodbye to TikTok and Instagram now, and I will see you guys next time, hopefully on Twitch. And then for those who are watching over on Twitch and YouTube, for YouTube, I fear I will not be able to send you guys over to Taylor Liz, but I will see you guys tomorrow at 5 o'clock.